You know I'm ballin', usual like Kobe. Ooh, worry about a hater that don't know me. He say that he tough, then that boy gotta show me.
Now, I personally, just like many other people, have gone through many different phases in life. And a large portion of my phases come from what I was watching in media. I mean, I had a manga reading phase, a sports anime phase, a slice of life phase, a seinen phase, a shonen phase, the list goes on forever. When it comes to the Japanese animation medium, I have watched practically all over the place. But one of my most memorable phases comes from the 2020 lockdown during my very sad, heartbroken era, was when I used to binge watch romance animes. And I don't want to hear any judgment, I was like 15. It was a fucking weird time in life. But it was fun watching these romance animes, even if some of them were pretty fucking weird. I'd still say I enjoyed a large portion of them, apart from one. Rent a Girlfriend. This anime was fucking dog shit. Not only is this the worst romance anime by a lot, I'd even go as far as to say this is some of the worst romance in all of media. Honestly, this was just fucking awful. Even in my I'll consume anything romance phase, I just could not stomach this. I remember season 1 was okay, season 2 just fell off a cliff, and then season 3 I didn't even fucking watch. And I don't even think I would need to because it's just more of the same shit. Now, the premise of the series isn't terrible, but I feel like it can only work if the characters are engaging. But these lot, they're just not. And Kazuya is the most pathetic excuse for a main character I've ever seen. The series starts off with him breaking up with his girlfriend, and then to get over her, he goes on an app called Rental Girlfriend where you can rent a girlfriend. You basically pay to go on a date, and then after the date is over, she fucks off, right? Like, that's the whole point of the app. But in the process, Kazuya falls in love with a rental girlfriend called Chizuru. But to her, it's just a job. She doesn't actually like the guy, she was just doing her job. But for anime plot reasons, they end up going to the same school, they end up hanging around the same people, they end up being neighbors. And for one season, it's kind of funny, okay? It's kind of humorous, it's like, it's alright. But by season 2, it starts to drag its balls on the same fucking story. Kazuya goes on a date with Chizuru. Kazuya goes on a date with Chizuru. Kazuya tries to get into Chizuru's good books outside of rental dating. But she's not interested, so he has to continue to rental date. What is the fucking purpose of this show? And I'd say spoiler warning, but you can't possibly spoil this show because their relationship makes no progress from episode 1 to episode 24. 24 episodes of literally nothing. I know what a slow burner is, okay? Trust me, I'm a fan of Fairy Tail. I know what it is. This just isn't it. The stove isn't even on yet. And I could excuse the slow-paced romance if there were other good qualities here, but there just isn't. The main character is the biggest loser in the entire series. The guy we as an audience spend the most time with, and is the character we're supposed to connect with the most, is so fucking annoying it makes the show unwatchable. And the author knows what he's doing. Like, there's no way you can write a character this obnoxious without knowing what you're doing. And I could excuse annoying main characters if they improve over time, but he just doesn't. He flops and stumbles around a girl who doesn't give a flying fuck about him. There is literally a portion in the anime where he goons and wanks to the idea of her getting fucked by another guy. This is the main character we're supposed to be rooting for. Really? Now, I haven't read the manga personally, so take this next part with a grain of salt. But apparently, in the manga, he gets her a new job, furthers her career, provides her emotional support, and in total has spent over $250,000 on rental dates. He gets a wedding ring, which was passed down through his grandmother, and gives it to her. And after all that, in the latest chapter, which just came out, chapter 380, she has now just rejected him. Wow. Fucking wow. Is anyone actually a fan of this dogshit series? I mean, genuinely. Almost 400 chapters of literally nothing, and then she rejects him in the end. JJK, sit tight, buddy, alright? You might actually be topped in terms of worst ending of all time. But listen, right? I'd like to say I think outside the box, and I thought to myself, how the fuck did this happen? How did a series so shit get even worse. There has to be some outside factors here. How does one even begin to write this garbage? Is this supposed to be a playbook on how to not get a girlfriend? Because if so, then I guess it was pretty decent in the end. Oh wow, who would have thought renting a girlfriend doesn't have a happy ending? Fucking shocking, that one. But it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, season 1 had a clear direction, there was a clear path the author was trying to take here. So what happened? Why did a decently okay series randomly turn into this will they won't they know they won't slop? Well, to answer that question, we're gonna need to turn to the author himself. Reiji Miyajima, a fairly decently talented mangaka with a few decent names under his belt. However, of course, his big break into the mainstream was Rent-A-Girlfriend, and was going great until he developed somewhat of an obsession with his own character. Yes. The reason why the main character will never get with the main girl is because the author is in love with the main girl. A while ago, he tweeted, and I quote, "This girl is my beautiful girlfriend, and her name is Chizuru Mizuhara. She is a very kind girl, and she always forgives me in the end, even if she gets really mad at me afterwards." Okay, yeah, nice one, mate. And then he proceeds to draw her in various different locations, acting like he is on a date with her. Here they're shopping together. Here they're waiting for a train together. Here they're on the train together. Here she is in his house, sitting on his pillow. Here they're in the shrine together. Oh, look, she is standing in front of a giant love sign. Here she is waiting at his front door. Oh wait, now they're on a coffee date. And here she is in his fucking bed. Is it weird yet? When are we gonna draw the obsession line? Of course he's not gonna let his main character have her because he's obsessed with her himself. Not to mention that there is a life-size Chizuru which this man visits frequently, and he also owns one himself which he constantly takes pictures of her shoulders and legs. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. She is just absolutely littered all over this guy's account. He's even drawn her in his own shower and illustrations of her underwear on his floor. Yeah, it's getting fucking weird, mate. There's like in your own OC, and then there's this. This is just a little bit too far, mate. He is literally making his own main character suffer for the sake of his own fantasies. God, no wonder this anime is so fucking weird. Just look at what the author is doing. And it's no wonder they're never gonna get together. Just look at what the author is doing. Good lord, I know it's your job to be an artist, but this is getting kind of weird, man. Making illustrations, I get. You know, making drawings of your own characters, I get. But calling her your girlfriend and drawing her in your house on dates and in your shower, little bit weird. And your story is suffering because of it. 400 chapters of nothing while he's literally on dates with the main character's main girl. Because that's gonna help the story. And the worst part is there are literally 4 other love interests the main character could go for, but instead he chooses the only one who doesn't want him back. Self-insert much, mate? I mean, in season 2, Ruka literally threw herself at this man and he said no because he prefers the girl he has to pay for. And now I guess it kind of makes sense. I mean, the author would literally do the same himself. What an absolute freak. And of course, people all over the internet are clowning this, and rightfully so. How the fuck are you gonna make a romance manga for 400 chapters and have her reject him in the end? That is the worst spit in the face to anyone who was genuinely enjoying this garbage. It's almost like he was punishing you for reading another man with his girlfriend. But oh well, mangaka's being absolutely fucking insane. In other news, grass is green. People are already making their predictions on how this story is gonna end, and I'm gonna be honest, my money's on this one. Okay, it's gonna be this. The Reggie marries Chizuru and Kazuya fucking goons in the corner. I wouldn't even be surprised if he's already fucking drawn that. I mean, honestly, we should have already seen the signs. I mean, he's been like this for years, so this being how the series ends shouldn't be surprising to anyone. But anyways, guys, this is in fact the end of the video, and if you liked, please leave a like, and if you didn't, then feel free to degrade me in the comments. And if you made it this far into the end of the video and you aren't subscribed yet, then I'm not gonna say it twice. Subscribe now. But with all that said, all my links and socials are in the description. Feel free to follow me on anything. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. But until next time, make sure to drink your water and get enough sleep at night. Okay, goodbye.
You're listening to Yapo JJ. Yeah, Dylo.
No, I gotta keep my fire on. Fire on, fire on, fire on. In my whip, I'm flying. That girl on my left, that bitch on my right on. Damn, your heels, they so high, yeah, get your height on. Yeah, smoke that guy like Shaq, told that guy I ride on. Dipping that gold.